Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to another season of the Dega Pros Little Guys series here tonight live on PGR eSports. Season 5 of the Little Guys series is here, and several big names are still in the field looking to join the 4 previous champions as King of the Little Guys. My name is Dawson Wise. You're again watching live here on PGR eSports. Glad to bring you through another season of this series. It's been a lot of fun to call. I know Season 5 is just going to be just as good. We got a great crowd on the racetrack tonight. Before we get down to that business, though, do want to bring in my 2 broadcast partners for tonight and for this season. First, back for another season is my broadcast partner from last season. That is Matthew Baker. Baker, we're back for another season of the Little Guys series. How excited are you?
Yeah, really excited again to see some familiar faces out here, a couple new faces trying their crack at it. See Mark Math. I'm looking for him to really shine here with lesser of the big dogs in these races. I think he'll be running up front, and I think it's the year for Dustin Carruthers. I think he finally gets it done this year.
Well, certainly one of the more notable guys that has yet to win the championship in this series. He's in the field again tonight. We'll bring in my other broadcast partner now, the owner of PGR eSports and Team PGR, and a new face on broadcasting behind the microphone. A couple notable appearances the last couple weeks, and that is Michael Triscaro. Mike, you might as well take the microphone away from me, but nonetheless, you're up here with me tonight, a former champion of this series. What are you looking for here in Season 5?
Man, I'm looking for another exciting season. I'm still kind of catching my breath from the last season when Team PGR's Mike Davenport had made about 4 or 5 different blocks in the trial to win the Little Guys Season 4. So but caught my breath from that. I'm looking for a lot more dominance from not only Team PGR but Team KSR as well, especially Dustin Carruthers. He's been around since Season 1 and for some reason just has not been able to get the job done. Was looking for him to maybe win that Season 4, but unfortunately it was accidentally kicked from the server. So looking for a strong outing here from Team KSR led by Dustin Carruthers here tonight.
Well, it's certainly a good showing in qualifying, as 4 of the top 6 trucks on the racetrack right now are members of KSR. They have a total of, I believe, 5 trucks in the field tonight, if I remember correctly. And looking down there, yes, they have 5 trucks in the field tonight. A lot of teams. We'll get to them as the race goes on. There's a lot of the same teams that we're used to here tonight. Hyper Motorsports is back. BAR is back in the field tonight, as well, with a couple of entries. Logan York, Tucker McClendon are back in the field tonight. They are teammates. And, of course, Team PGR, they still got 4 trucks on the racetrack despite having one that departs the field this season as a champion. And we'll have to see how they do as well. We'll remind you of the format. The format is the same as last season. If you were not here for Season 4, here is how this series works. There will be 5 regular season races over the next 5 Monday nights that will set our championship field. The winners of those 5 races will automatically lock their spot into that championship race no matter what. They'll be racing for a championship at the end of the season. Then, beyond our winners, so not counting our winners, the top 15 drivers in point standings will also make the championship race. There will be a total of 20 trucks racing for the championship. So 5 winners, so the winner of each of the next 5 Mondays, as well as the top 15 in points that do not have a victory. So 20 trucks will make our championship race. That will be on June the 17th. For the next 5 Mondays, we will be racing 50-lap races every single Monday with 50% fuel, no fast repair, and 3 green-white checkers. And the winners of those 5 races are going to lock their way in. Their job is easy. They can kick their feet up on the desk. Somebody tonight is going to make their season very, very easy, very stress-free until we get to June 17th. So we will wait and see who that is. Qualifying's wrapping up. I don't think any of the last 2 trucks are going to take a lap. The last 3 trucks, excuse me. Sheets, Westmoreland, McClendon, I believe they're all going to opt not to take a lap at this point, which means the grid is set, and we are ready to go racing. Again, I want to thank you so much for coming out for another season. Glad to be back. This has been a lot of fun. We had so many wild moments last season. Guys that we remember. The darkness was certainly one of them. The fuel strategy, the 2 trucks on the lead lap in race number 2, and then a heck of a strategy race in the championship race as well. That came down to a blocking clinic by Mike Davenport. A lot of fun moments coming up in Season 5, and glad you're going to be joining us here along the way. The checkered flag will wave in qualifying. We will get you to the starting grid of tonight's race. Race 1, a total of 26 trucks have made the trip here to Talladega Superspeedway for race number 1 of the Little Guys series, and we tick it over and we'll get you into the starting grid. On the pole, no surprise here, one of the 5 trucks for Team KSR this season, the 89 of Trevin Osbornoth. He'll start on pole position, a time of 55.489. To his outside, one of his teammates, the 10 of Dustin Carruthers, looking to capture the long-awaited championship that has eluded him for the past 4 seasons. Row 2, one of their teammates, Ryan Baste, in the 73. Another guy been around for a long time, has yet to capture the elusive championship. He'll start from position number 3. It'll be Heath Job of Hyper Motorsports, starting from position number 4. Row 3, Logan York in the 01, a race winner from last season, one of our Championship 20. He's back for another go in this series. He'll start 5th. And Devin Ray of KSR, he'll start from the 6th position. Row 4, Ron Morris Jr., a race winner in this series. In the 76 for McCullough Motorsports, he'll start 7th. Steve Sizemore, he'll start in the 8 on your timing and scoring the 5 on the side of that truck. And row 5 will be a pair of PGR teammates. J.R. Miller on the inside in the 78, Nash Brambilla on the outside in the 24.
Owner of KSR, Kenneth Stamper, will be starting in 11th. Joe Horta in 12th. Zach Range, look for him to get to the front pretty quickly, starting in that 13th spot. Richard Elliott in 14th for BAR. Sean Corbett, another truck for BAR, in 15th. Jack Hignite. You see flashes of him every now and then, but if he can get the pit stops down, I think he'll be up front as well, starting in 16th. Danny Barnes for Hyper Motorsports in 17th. Bobby Forbes in 18th, also for Hyper Motorsports. Jared Haynes in 19th, and Christopher Carter, a name we haven't seen in a long time, in 20th.
And 21st tonight will be a new driver to Team PGR. That'll be Nathan Rostasil. Starting 22nd will be the 27 of Joey Galati. Mark Math will be starting 23rd. And Brock Westmoreland of Team PGR will be starting 24th. David Sheets and McCullough Motorsports will be starting 25th. And rounding out your field starting 26th tonight is Tucker McClendon.
So again, many of the familiar faces you're used to. A few new ones as well, taking their first cracks at this series.
Oh man, sorry to cut you off,
no worries.
but Ryan Baste blew up his truck on the grid. I don't know if he had a technical issue, something with his throttle, but he just blew up.
And the hits keep on coming for KSR, right as I was going to talk about the fact that the luck just has not gone their way in this series or otherwise the past few weeks. That is the number one thing you don't want to have happen, and that is an issue like that. Sounds to me like an equipment issue, perhaps. So, man, a really unfortunate start to Ryan Baste Season 5, but lucky for him. It does have the rest of this race, should he be able to get that truck fixed, get back on track, and the next 4 weeks. And all he has to do is go to victory lane or make the top 15 in points. So a tough break for Ryan Baste there. Again, one of the unfortunate things that can happen here, just a technical issue. But, man, already behind the 8 ball is Ryan Baste. Well, Baker gave who he was looking at. Mike, before we go green, who you got your eye on here tonight in the season opener?
I'll tell you what, if there's one guy that's going to break through these big 2 teams we got tonight, I'm looking at that driver, the 043 is Zach Range. He's won a race or 2 in the last couple weeks. Very strong driver, and looking maybe to see him kind of crack the code of these big teams here tonight, and for him to get it done.
Well, here we go. 5 races await. 6 if you count the championship race on June the 17th. We are ready to get Season 5 of the Dega Pros Little Guy Series on the racetrack. We're so glad you joined us here on PGR eSports, and we are ready to get this one underway. 50 laps, 50% fuel, no fast repairs available tonight. That'll be the story of the remainder of the season. Pit stops will come into factor tonight, 3 of them, should this race go green to the end. We're here for another season. Who will join Mike Davenport, Josh McCullough, Justin Mills, and Michael Triscaro as kings of the little guys? We're about to find out right now. Race 1 of 5 about to get underway. It's a pair of teammates on the front row. And wouldn't you know it, it's KSR. Osbornoth and Carruthers bring the field into the restart zone for the first time. They await the flag man to wave the green flag, and there it is. Green flag. We're racing in Season 5 of the Little Guy Series. Lap 1 going to be in the books here as they come to the trial and hit the start-finish line, and it is all chalk up front. Osmanoff leads, Carruthers second. Nobody out of line quite yet. Now a surge from the outside. Here comes Dustin Carruthers, and right as we mentioned the KSR dominance at the front, Devin Ray says, I'm bailing on out. I'm going to the back. I do not like what I see up front, and that allows the bottom to rocket to the lead on the Alabama Gang Super Stretch.
Joe Huerta going to follow him towards the back. Try and just get back there, save the truck. You know that you have a fast repair to give up. You don't have a fast repair to rely on in this series. You know, we run with no fast repairs, so everyone's trying to protect their truck. Logan York, though, he wants to stay up front. He's going to be best friends with Ron Morris. Those are two trucks that really run up front all the time, and they both don't have teammates tonight, so look for those two to really work together. Logan York up to block. He can't really hold that line. Now they're going to split him out 3 wide. Will it work out for the KSR contingent?
Trouble
Around in the back.
Westmoreland, a couple others.
Caution
McClendon as well. McClendon, Jared Haynes, and this is going to be a big wreck at the back. Several trucks involved. Mark Math, the 21 of Jared Haynes, the 25 of Chris Carter, the 00 of Tucker McClendon, the 4 of Brock Westmoreland, and the 27 of Joey Galati appear to be the trucks heavily involved in this one, and that happened right around that KSR duo who had just gone to the back. It actually happened right back there around them, so man, almost a really tough break for those trucks. We'll see where this one started. It was up here around Brock Westmoreland. Let's see here as they came through the tri-oval. Oh, a checkup in the middle. Danny Barnes checks up. Westmoreland does as well. But the 21 of Jared Haynes doesn't quite get the memo. He gets hooked. This is a big hit here for him into the outside wall. Blows the front end off his truck. Nathan Rostasil gets involved. Steve Sizemore gets involved. And here come the rest of these trucks who try to miss it. Mark Math, nowhere for him to go. Joe Huerta actually gets involved as well. Right as they went to the back, Huerta is going to get a piece of this. And not a very big piece, but a piece nonetheless. Devin Ray able to skate his way through it. And, man, this was it had to be a massive checkup. It sure looks like it is here from Danny Barnes. We'll get a little bit better angle of it here, try to show you how hard they were checking up in front of these guys. This all kind of sparked from the bit of a stack-up Logan York cost off of 4. The KSR guys couldn't quite get up in time to keep the field from checking up. It actually starts with Hignite in front of Danny Barnes and rockets its way back. And guys, you know as well as I do, as a checkup like that goes backwards, it gets worse the further back it goes. And by the time it gets back to, the 21 of Haynes, the 4 of Westmoreland, the 00 of McClendon, I mean, it's hard to avoid any kind of incident. And that's what happens. And, man, a very early caution here in this one.
Yeah, it seemed like they sorted it out with Logan's block. It wasn't, it's a little bit late of a block, but nonetheless, it didn't really cause that stack up in the middle where Hignite was. Hignite looked like he was just on the binders before he even got to that second truck in line on the bottom. So, really weird crash to see there. Haynes, obviously nowhere to go. He's going to get the EOL for it, but, just didn't check up in time, and, you're not really expecting a check up there in the middle of the trial when there's a bunch of separation.
We'll get one more look at it. We'll go on board with Devin Ray because he was pretty much right behind this incident when it happened. He and Joe Huerta actually went to the back. They're going to be right around where this incident starts. Not great timing for this move to get all the way to the back, but we'll go on board with Devin Ray. It's going to start in front of him. He's riding behind his teammate Joe Huerta. You're on board with Devin Ray. On the brakes, waits for the C's to part. And drives on through, but unfortunately has to watch his teammate get involved in that one as well. And, man, a very early caution, earlier than I anticipated, but, again, a couple new faces in here, so not surprised. These guys are trying to get used to each other again. It's been a few weeks since we all kind of got back to racing with one another in this style of field, so everybody just was trying to take it easy. Obviously, it didn't end up working out that way right there. And we will try to re-rack the field for you. Ron Morris is your leader. It's shuffled a bit up front here. J.R. Miller is all the way up to second. Trevor Osbornoff drops to third. Kenny Stamper is up to fourth. Zach Range, Mike's picks up to fifth. Nash Brambilla sixth. Richard Elliott seventh. Dustin Carruthers back to eighth. Sean Corbett ninth. And Heath Job back to 10th. Appears to be maybe a split pit strategy here. Not sure. A bunch of guys gained. A bunch of guys lost on this pit stop. Not sure kind of what happened in the shuffling there as we were on a replay, but nonetheless, field completely different than it was just a moment ago.
Yeah, and, I saw so many trucks on pit road. Tucker McClendon, he's going to go lap down here. Joe Galati's also going to go lap down here. He's just had a lot of unfortunate races, a lot of unfortunate wrecks that he's been involved of that he's not the cause of. So, and Mark Math too, Jared Haynes obviously getting the UL for the wreck, but just a lot of the newer names that are in the wreck early. It's not what you want to see. You want to see them up front competing. Christopher Carter also was on pit road for a little bit. He's still going to be able to stay on the lead lap. Looks like Brock Westmoreland's going to stay on the lead lap as well.
Yeah, I just got word with the 73 Orion based of KSR. He's sitting on pit road, and that might do it for him tonight. There's no repairs going to his truck here. His Chevy, it looks like just too much damage from the blown motor. Not going to be able to get this thing refired up. Unfortunate start to the season 5 for him.
Man, that was going to be one of my favorites to get into victory lane this season. It's obviously not the start he wanted in night 1. Was going to be one of the guys to watch tonight. And, man, not the start that he or his teammates wanted for the 73. KSR down a man, not even off the grid. They were down a truck. And you want to talk about bad luck in this field, KSR can tell you a lot of things about bad luck. It's been the story of the last couple seasons for this team. They're looking to turn it around so far. Several of their drivers running up front. They have 3 of the top 10 trucks right now as they run on the speedway. The other 2, Devin Ray 15th, Joe Huerta in 16th. Had just gone to the back when that incident started. They are on the single file portion of the line towards the middle of the pack. All right, we're going to get back green. 45 laps to go. This basically, man, this is getting awfully close to a 2-stop race now with a 15-lap fuel window. It's going to be almost right on the number, so we'll see if these guys maybe lay back, pull the pace back, try to save, try to play some strategy. We'll have to wait and see. 45 laps to go in race number 1, and Morris and Miller will now bring them back into the restart zone, looking for the green flag. About 8 rows of 2 wide, something like that. 7 rows actually back to Nathan Rostasil, I believe is the last car. 2 wide, actually it is 8. Mark Math in the 199, the last car. 2 wide. Everybody from there on back came to double pit and top off on fuel. Green flag is back in the air. And what a restart at the front for Ron Morrison. This has got the field all kinds of disorganized, headed for the banking in turn number 1.
And Ron Morris Jr. was the only truck that stayed out there. Didn't see the need to pit for fuel. He'll be a couple laps off strategy to everyone else here in the field. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him. Maybe he can get someone clear in front of him. He's going to just jump to the top, go all the way to the back of the field. Just as I say that, that was a little bit of an awkward place to do that. Made me hold my breath there for just a little bit. Lots of words, but he's going to tuck back in line, try and save some fuel here.
And here comes my pick, the 043 is Zach Range. He's second on the outside, pushing 78 of J.R. Miller. Nash Brambilla in tow behind him. Trevin Ashford, Kenny Stamper leading the bottom as here comes Richard Elliott. And he in tow behind him will be Dustin Carruthers as Heath Job now into the mix.
No surprise Heath Job is going for it. He went for it in the championship race as well. Certainly on a streak of aggression is the 760, and he's up front battling for the race lead. And he's, right as I talk about the streak of aggression, he's going to go all the way to the safer barrier and be the first one to try 3 wide. And guess who goes with him? The only guy you'd expect to go with him. Logan York in the 0-1 took a look out there as well. They're going to be the first ones to test the safer barrier tonight and go 3 wide down the back straightaway. Only 1 row deep right now, and they're going to need probably 1 more truck to fight off this middle and bottom. But now, as Miller drops to the yellow line, it's going to stall the middle a little bit and allow that top line perhaps to draw alongside them here off of 4. But it also allows J.R. Miller to go to the lead and perhaps Trevor Osborne out to clear in a second off of 4.
Just 2 trucks in the middle, 2 trucks on the outside, not really getting the momentum that they need. That big, long train there on the bottom. Going to keep rolling by as they roll by pit road. You see Jack Hicknight jump to the top there, but we got 3 trucks here on pit road with terminal damage, it looks like. Ending their night, Joey Galati, Jared Haynes, and Tucker McClendon not able to get back out in time to either stay on that lead lap or to stay within a lap down or 2 laps down. So it looks like the end of the night for those trucks.
Help is on the way here in the 3rd lane down the backstretch. It looks like we're going to have 4 trucks up high. They should get a run here as Trevor Ashmanoff. He's going to clear to the bottom as Zach Range. He's going to lead the middle, but here comes the top. It's Heath Job leading the top here as we come around turn number 3 into turn number 4. Trevor Ashmanoff still very strong here on the bottom.
Well, he's got a good pusher behind him. Well, now he's got a pusher he knows as well. Miller goes bottom to middle. He's going to go back around the 89, but now leaves the 89 in the hands of his team owner, Kenny Stamper, on the bottom side of the racetrack. There's 3 of those KSR trucks lined up, 1, 2, 4 on the bottom along the yellow line, but now they're going to be 2-3-5. J.R. Miller right back to the lead, a power move by the 78. The Team PGR entry, J.R. Miller, he looks sporty tonight, and again, a guy who's been on a big-time streak for about the last month and a half. Ever since he got that win in Tuesday Night Thunder about 4 weeks ago, he has been on a crazy tear of aggression. It's like he's flipped a switch. He's a completely different driver, and he's showing it tonight, leading the way as they climb the banking in 3.
Okay, sorry, going to get clear to that middle line. First one to jump out is Kenneth Stamper. Osroth going to come with him. J.R. Miller, no choice but to stay on the bottom. It would have been too big of a run to block. Richard Elliott going to tuck to the back bumper. That's another truck that's had a couple really great runs. Won the team draft event with him a couple of Mondays ago. It was a lot of fun to run with him. He's a very smart, not aggressive. Oh, Kenny Stamper getting a turn by J.R. Miller. Back up into the field. Dustin Carruthers around. Caution's out.
Oh, man, and if he... Oh, now Ron Morris gets involved as well. The 76 got a piece of that. And if you wanted to know if the bad luck was over for the 10, it is not. And it comes to the hands of his team owner this time. We'll go back and take a look, man. I thought they were going to get away with about a 2 or 3 car incident. And as soon as they started to turn back up the hill, you realized it was going to be a lot bigger than 2 or 3 cars. Let's take a look. Kenny Stamper, I'm not sure. I don't know if he got out of line with Trevor there, if he got off center, or what happened, but nonetheless, he tries to come back down. J.R. Miller's filled that gap, and he gets a piece of Kenny Stamper. And as J.R. turns back up the hill, this gets big right here in the middle of the trial. Richard Elliott involved. Dustin Carruthers gets involved right there. How about Heath Job skirting by on the outside? Jack Hignite as well. Danny Barnes not going to be quite as lucky. He'll get pancaked into the outside wall. Sean Corbett gets a piece, and then Ron Morris, well, actually, Danny Barnes and Bobby Forbes both involved for Hyper. And then Ron Morris right here is going to get a piece of it as well. He almost had it missed, and it's the Sean Corbett machine. And I'm not sure. This is a weird look for Kenny Stamper here. I don't know if he got a call from perhaps one of their teammates to jump up or what. But nonetheless, he tries to come back down, and J.R. Miller's already there.
Yeah, I should have just rolled to the bottom. Maybe he got team orders to go back up to the top side, but Ranger's already there to the outside. But it's unfortunate for J.R. Miller. It looks like a broken right front on his vehicle. I was watching it roll by. Stamper with heavy damage. Carruthers with heavy front end damage. I don't know. Carruthers may be fine there. It looks like he may have neck coated a little bit on the front side. Still going to hurt his truck for sure. But just unfortunate for KSR. Unfortunate for Richard Elliott, who I'd just been talking about. So the commentator bug strikes there. Logan York, though, skates through that one. Carruthers almost got back up into him. You know how bad of luck it is for Logan York anytime he's around a wreck. It seems like he's involved in it. So good wreck avoidance by him and just a little bit of luck. But Heath Joby noted, and Jack Hignite barely squeaking by on the outside.
We'll go on boards.
I'll tell you what, if you want to see some wreck avoidance, some good braking, it's a newcomer, Nathan Rostasil. He was probably the one that benefited the most from this one. He was able to drive straight through everything. Awesome job to get on the brakes there, avoid the wreck. Great onboard there, Dawson, if you want to check that one out. Was able to miss every single thing there, gain a lot of spots there. Nice to see out of a new driver here to the money scene.
We just were on board with Heath Job. Now that was Jack Hignite. He got even closer than the 760. Now we'll jump on board with the 3 on your timing and scoring. I believe he's the 19 on the truck. I'll have to go look in a second. You're on board with Nathan Rostasil, the new addition for Team PGR. And again, kind of similar to last time. Oh, man. Okay, I spoke a little bit too soon. That wreck wasn't quite over for Rostasil, but kind of like the last wreck with Devin Ray, just kind of got on the brakes and very patient, was able to, not have anybody behind him, had the luxury of being able to get on the brakes and was able to let the seas part and said, hey, you guys can wreck in front of me. I'm going to drive on by and get my way through it. So another early caution now pacing lap 11, and all of a sudden we have 8, 9, 10 trucks with some level of damage, whether terminal or otherwise. A very, I won't say sloppy start, but a more sloppy start than we're used to here so far in race number 1.
Yeah, we're used to seeing some really good green flag racing. Unfortunate, just a couple little mistakes, and when they're up front, it amplifies and it trickles backwards. You talk about the stack up, and then the misalignment there up front with Osmernoth and Stamper causing the big chaos up front. But looking for more trucks to come down, fix damage. Devin Ray going to come down. Ron Morris took a little bit of damage there. Joe Horita Elliott. Looks like Clendon's back out, trying his luck getting his truck out. He still has the right front fender missing. He's a few laps down, but going to try and get back out there and get some points.
So we'll re-rack the field for you now, and we're getting ready to go back to green here in just a few moments. And Trevor Osbornoth, he's on the apron saving fuel. Not sure what's going on there, but didn't think he had to now that we had another caution, but nonetheless, he's down there. So Trevor Osbornoth is technically the leader now. Zach Range paces up alongside him. He's second. Nash Rambilla is third. Danny Barnes is fourth, and Heath Job is fifth. Nice showing for Hyper right now, fourth and fifth on the racetrack. Sean Corbett, sixth. Jack Hignite is up to seventh. Logan York is eighth. Chris Carter, recovery out of the first wreck. He was in the wreck a moment ago. Now all the way up into the ninth position. And Bobby Forbes rounds out a top 10 that features three of the Hyper Motorsports Chevrolets. Quiet, nice run so far. The drivers in the red, blue, and black Chevrolets so far in the fourth, fifth, and 10th spots. So good run for them so far, keeping the trucks clean as well. The rest of the team's pretty split up for the most part here as we get ready for another restart.
And a truck that I'm going to keep my eye on. I started racing him whenever I first got into the money scene, and he's a part of McCullough Motorsports for a very long time until he stepped away from my racing for a little bit. But that's Christopher Carter. If I had to compare him to anyone, he races like John Mollahan, almost identical to John Mollahan. But he knows how to run up front. If he can keep his truck clean, he'll be there at the end for sure.
Here we go again. Lap 13 on the board. That means 38 remain in tonight's event. And here we go. Pace truck is down. Osbornoth Range on the front row. Again, about 6 rows, 7 rows of 2 wide, then a bunch of single file behind them from trucks that came back down pit road. Another restart zone for the third time tonight. Osbornoth waiting on the green flag. There it is. Green flag is back in the air. A checkup at the back. Ron Morris, a problem for the 76. We'll go back there and look, but he is not going. No power underneath the 76. What in the world has happened to Ron Morris on the restart?
Oh, I don't know. That was strange. I don't understand what was happening there on that restart, but back up front, looks like the bottom side's starting to surge. A lot more trucks there on top. As you see Logan York towards the back there. Nash Rambilla going to give good push to Zach Range. Here on the top line, Heath Job getting to the back bumper of Trevor Osbornoth, but this top side is going to roll here into turn 3, coming to turn 4.
Yeah, Zach Range, he wants to stay up front. Just got a word with him. He wants to stay up front, stay in the top 5 as if we hopefully get to some green flag stops tonight. But he has no fear racing against these big teams solo tonight. Look for Zach Range to stay up there as we hopefully can get to a green flag stop here tonight.
I'm not sure Zach Range has any fear, period, no matter who he's racing on the racetrack. If he does, I haven't seen it yet, certainly. And you know who else doesn't? That's Logan York, who jets up the outside. But the problem is the truck behind him was a Hyper Motorsports truck, obviously. Sees a teammate. Not going to go bail on the teammate is Bobby Forbes. So Logan York by his lonesome. And, man, he is side drafted really hard off turn 2. Man, he was not giving those Hyper boys any kind of room. And he's going to fall back into the clutches of Nathan Rostisil and company. As you mentioned, Zach Range, well, he's gone to the point. He takes the lead and drops in front of Trevor Osbornoth as they once again climb the banking.
Looks like Ron Morris Jr. getting back out on track. I wonder if he had an issue there with his computer on the start, but he's able to roll it out and get off pit road just now.
Well, now it's Brambilla on the outside, getting a nice push here from Danny Barnes. Inside his Range, Osbornoth Job lined up 1, 2, 3, pretty much stacked up in line. And Range will again get clear. Let's see if he swaps lanes here into 1. Going to stay home on the bottom right now on the yellow line. No switch as the outside starts to fade now. Well, I thought Range was looking out there. I think he's thinking about blocking. If Osbornoth takes a look, Osbornoth does. Range stays home. And it's Trevor Osbornoth. A little bit of a game of leapfrog here at the front. Game of chicken. Who wants to lead and who wants to run second?
A big push there by Heath Job on that bottom side, trying to keep Zach Range rolling, but 2 trucks clear on that top side. Nash Rambilla is a big push. That's going to line up the 2 Hyper Motorsports trucks and Danny Barnes and Bobby Forbes to that nice black scheme. It went from the red, white, and blue to that black, blue, and red. Really nice looking trucks here. Running on that outside line with Logan York supporting. See Heath Job there running 4th line at the bottom. I don't think he's going to stay there long. Just as I say that, he goes up to that middle line. Big push on that top side. That's going to get Danny Barnes the lead.
Awesome sight to see here.
Oh, but he gets
and it's
turned.
Danny Barnes' turn.
And Osborne's hard on the wall. Oh, my goodness. Logan York
Huge
airborne.
wreck.
Logan
Wow.
York airborne. Osborne big damage. Richard Elliott. Oh, no, and Carruthers slides into it. Oh, no. Dustin Carruthers slides into his teammate who was sitting on the apron. And, man, right as Danny Barnes gets to the lead, it looks like a similar wreck as the last time. I think he waited just a moment too long to clear down here in front of Trevor Osborne. We'll get you a definitive look at it. He definitely gets clear. I mean, he's clear right here as he come by our camera. Let's see if we get a little bit better angle. Here we go. Let's see. Barnes going to try to go to the bottom, and by this point, look at how hard Brambilla's pushing. And, yep, as he's pushing, Barnes tries to come down, and Osborne's already back to him. And look at this wreck. I mean, this is violent here as Osborne gets back up the hill. Look at this hit for these two. Logan York, oh my goodness, into the catch fencing.
Huge. Him and Trevor Osborne took a big hit. They would be visiting the infield care center for a little bit after that wreck.
Yeah, that just collected up a lot of trucks, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but here comes the 3 truck yet again. Nathan Rostisel avoiding everything yet again. He might have the golden horseshoe here so far tonight. Zach Range also lucky to get through that one. Richard Elliott, man, he came with a full head of steam and unfortunately collected Nash Brambilla. So, man, a lot of trucks with heavy damage. This field is going to be cut almost in half. We are going to have a very small field, going to be reminiscent of a Cup Series race on a Sunday as we get down to 10 or 15 laps left at Talladega, guys. This is crazy.
Well, I remember a quote that they used to say every time a car would go into the catch fencing, and it was, the fence did its job, the car did its job. Well, that's the case with Logan York right there. He stays inside the racetrack, and what a monster hit for those 2 cars. We'll get another look at it here.
I don't know how Logan York is rolling right now. He made it. He's 4th coming into pit road right now. I just don't understand how he has any power into that truck.
I mean, I don't think he got a ton of damage. Kind of slides on his side, got into the wall, lost his left front fender, but, I mean, he kind of was able to vault up on top of the wall, not really back it in as much as we've seen other guys do it, and he gets lucky right there. We're going to go on board with both these guys just to show you the magnitude of this wreck. I just kind of want to show you. And we'll go on board with Logan York. Pardon the texture issue. There we go. We're on board with Logan York. Watch this hit. Oh, man. He's still wheeling it. He's got the wheel moving in there when he's rolling on his side, sliding down the banking. He's got the wheel turned still, and you hear it. He's gassing back up and rolling onto pit road. I don't know how that truck's rolling either. I have no idea, but nonetheless, it rolls. Now we'll watch from Trevor Osborne. Look at this hit for the 89. Oh, man. And he gets it rolling. He came to pit road as well under his own power, so there you see the hit from his teammate, Carruthers. That's what you saw right there at the end. And he was able to also, man, how are those 2 trucks still moving? I don't think I've ever seen 2 guys drive away from a wreck like that.
No, that seems like an immediate tow for both those trucks. I mean, Logan York's still sitting on pit road. So is Trevor Osborne, but, the fact that they're able to get those trucks rolling and get them around for pits is beyond me. We watch these races and we forget that these trucks are going 192 into the corner, so those are huge hits for these trucks to withstand and keep rolling.
Yeah, Logan York fortunate to get to pit road, but going to be unfortunate as he is completely and utterly damaged. He said he probably won't be able to get this thing back out on the track. So tough to see one of the best drivers here in the field, but looks like that 0-1 not going to be able to make it off pit road the rest of the night.
I mean, I figured it would be a good old-fashioned pit strategy race, maybe a couple cautions there towards the end, and man, it has turned into a battle of attrition. Who's got the truck left? It might come down to who can limp their truck to the start-finish line. I mean, look at Kenny Stamper's got left side damage. He's running P2 right now. A couple other trucks. Nathan Rostisel, I'm pretty sure, still has damage. Yep, you see the scrapes on his truck as well. Sean Corbett still has damage. I think Joey Galati may also still have damage. Like, all these trucks that are still out on the racetrack have been involved in a wreck in some form. They're just able to keep rolling. We'll go back do some status checks on some of these trucks. Ron Morris appears to be okay. Dustin Carruthers also appears to be okay. Heath Job appears to be okay. Let's check on some of these guys coming off pit road. Westmoreland, Math, Elliott looks to be fine. Same with Danny Barnes. Trevor Osmond, oh man. Pretty significant damage on his truck. Pretty significant damage on Logan York's truck. Ashbrand Billa, some damage on his truck as well. I mean, this is a war of attrition, guys. 19 laps in, and all of a sudden, this has turned into who's going to have the truck to limp around the racetrack.
I was seeing only 4 trucks that looked semi-clean, maybe 10 that look like they are going to be raring to go here on this restart. One of them being Ron Morris Jr. He had that unfortunate restart, some sort of computer issue, but it seems like a blessing in disguise. Didn't get involved in what he would have been in that big crash for sure, being that he runs up front all the time. And that, it's just what's causing these big wrecks is it's the leaders that are causing these issues, and it's just stacking everyone up behind. Huge wrecks by everyone here.
Well, here comes J.R. Miller up towards the front. Yeah, he is several laps down. Multiple laps down at this point, so clearly not trying to get into a spot on the lead lap. He is 6 laps down and going to restart 4th on the inside here. Tucker McClendon is also 6 laps down. He'll restart 4th on the outside. So if that tells you how this race is going, Joey Galati is 12 laps down, and he'll restart 5th on the inside line. So that's the race that this has become, and there are still 31 laps to go here from Talladega. Still a long way to go, and a lot of trucks now with damage that they're either not going to be able to fix or they cannot fix under this caution. This is going to be a very interesting restart. Zach Range, Kenny Stamper bring the field back into the restart zone. 31 laps to go at Talladega. Green flag is back in the air. Who's got the truck to contend? Zach Range off to a massive lead, maybe too much of a lead, headed for turn 1.
Big jump there on the bottom side. He's going to try and maybe move up in front of that middle line, but he's going to think better of it, go back down to the bottom, string out this bottom line. Not many trucks here that are going to be able to compete, so you're going to see a little bit smaller of a pack. Maybe we'll get to this green flag stop. Maybe we won't, but big push from Richard Elliott to Dustin Carruthers. As you see Galati jump to that outside, he's multiple laps down. A lot of trucks up here, multiple laps down. J.R. Miller, the first car a lap down, and that being 6 laps down, so he is in the lucky dog spot right now, running 5th in line on the bottom here. Case, as you see, Case Stamper jump to that bottom side. Everyone single filing out, just trying to save this truck. But a bunch of people towards the back, they don't want to see that. They want to see some 2-wide racing. Everyone mix it up, maybe get a caution, get some more damage fixed, get that lap back.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if they can make it on one stop from here. But there could be a couple trucks trying to maybe stretch the fuel just a little bit more. J.R. Miller, he's going to go middle as Kenny Stamper's going to be pushing him. Zach Range still on point. Bobby Ford's here in second. Nathan Rosticle and also Sean Corbett here on the bottom as we head down the backstretch. Well,
so I kind of like what JR's doing here, because if he were to get in front of the leader here with the help of Kenny Stamper, theoretically, if I'm figuring this out right, he would still be the first car a lap down, assuming the field does not catch Danny Barnes before the next caution, who has lost the draft. He could theoretically get 2 laps for the price of 1 here if he gets in front of the leaders. He'd be 5 laps down in front of the leader and still the first car a lap down, meaning he would get 2 laps back under a caution theoretically if you could go and get it the hard way. So I like the strategy from J.R. Miller. Considering the rate the cautions are coming out in this race, I don't mind going up there trying to get in front of the leader, dropping in, and just hoping for the best as they start to catch Danny Barnes. Kenny Stamper, a couple others say, I want to go to the front and tag along with you. Still all Zach Range down the back straightaway, though.
Yeah, it's a good idea from J.R. Miller, as long as he doesn't have contact there on the bottom line from whenever he takes the lead. But, he's just trying to get ahead of the chaos. As you see, Ron Morris Jr. tucked to the back bumper of Heath Job, trying to get up there, get that track position back. Track position's key here. With these a little bit smaller of a field, with all the attrition that we've had, as you see a bunch of cars start to run off the pace that have damage, that being Logan York and Tucker McClendon, with Christopher Carter stuck behind with Jack Hignite. But this track position is going to be key, and all the points matter here. If you don't get the win, the points matter for sure.
J.R. Miller, he is cleared up front. That is 1 lap back. He's going to need a caution to get another lap back. Awesome call out there by Dawson there. We got Kenny Stamper. He's leading the middle now. Here comes some Hyper Motorsports trucks to the front. It looks like it's possibly Heath Job. Heath Job leading the top. Ron Morris behind him. We're also going to have the number 5 of Bobby Forbes heating up right now, but it looks like Hyper Motorsports, Heath Job's going to clear to the middle.
2 Hyper trucks running behind Heath Job, or running behind Zach Range right now, being Heath Job and Bobby Forbes in the 5, who's now come all the way to second. And Nathan Rostasil, remember him from these couple of wrecks, he's running up in the 4th position right now, prime position for the newest addition to Team PGR. And he is running 4th on the inside, 3rd of the lead lap trucks. Remember, J.R. Miller is 6 laps down, well, technically 5 laps down right now. Now, the problem is the field is starting to run down Danny Barnes, and should Danny Barnes go a lap down, obviously that kind of ruins the plan for J.R. Miller. He'll have to get them all back to Hardway at that point. But, again, does not appear to be opposed to doing that, as he's up front jockeying as if he's the leader right now. The truck is clean, and he's racing for it all the same, trying to get those laps back the hard way. Heath Job says, I'm not going to make that too easy on you. He's going to get turned. And a whale of a hit for J.R. Miller, and, well, any hope he had of getting those laps back is now gone. That will be a night ender likely for the 78 of J.R. Miller, because he was almost up and over there in turn 4. A massive hit, probably going to end the night of Heath Job as well.
I mean, just a little bit of an offset push by Zach Range there, gets JR up the hill, and as he chases it up the hill, gets neck coated by Job. I mean, an explosion on the outside wall. I mean, the safer barrier took all it could take there. You had the right quarter panel, the front bumper, the hood fly off. You had more bumpers coming off of Heath Job. Huge impact on the outside wall.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Heath Job there, running a really, really good race. It's going to have a hefty amount of damage on his front end. Zach Range, he is a little bit aggressive. Nothing too egregious there, pushing J.R. Miller. Just very unfortunate for Heath. Luckily for Kenny Stamper, he's able to squirt right through that gap. So it looks like Kenny Stamper might even be scored in first place here after that one.
Oh, man. I mean, JR almost flips over. He's looking outside the racetrack at the campsites there outside turns 3 and 4. By the time he gets up and over, gets back on his wheels. But big, big, big damage for J.R. Miller and Heath Job in the 760. Both are probably going to have their nights ended by this one. It appears to be definitely terminal damage on J.R. Miller. We'll see about Heath Job here in a moment as the field hits pit road. But, man, I mean, a brutal wreck. And we're only at halfway, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And we've already had now 3 huge wrecks in terms of damage to trucks. And the attrition is starting to wear on these drivers. Only, I believe, going to be about 16 on the lead lap. We're only halfway into this race. So, coming off pit road, if you'll remember, Dustin Carruthers has been in 2 wrecks tonight. He's currently scored P3 on the racetrack. Kenny Stamper, if you'll remember, came down across J.R. Miller in the trial. Well, he runs second in the race right now. So, Sean Corbett was in that wreck as well. He runs 4th. So was Steve Sizemore. He runs 5th. So was Joe Huerta. He runs 6th. I mean, Devin Ray was not in the wreck, but he was near it. He runs 8th. Nathan Rostasil has missed a couple wrecks tonight. He's 9th. Chris Carter was in the first wreck. He runs 11th. I mean, that's the attrition that we have on our hands now on lap 25 is, actually 26 now, is, I mean, cars that have been wrecked more than one time are 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. I mean, this is an attrition race of all attrition races. Whoever wins this one tonight is absolutely going to earn it.
Absolutely, just unfortunate pushes up front every single time it's coming from up front. If I'm in this race, I don't want to be anywhere near the front because it's just been calamity. Rosasil's been in the best position towards the back, towards the middle, staying out of the wrecks and keeping his truck clean. And that's going to pay dividends. Usually track position pays dividends, but having a clean truck is going to really, really pay off here at the end of this race for some of these drivers.
I don't know what's in the water here tonight, but I was looking forward to seeing some green flag racing, some green flag stops. It's possible that it's only a one-stop race from here if we do go green with 25 laps to go. Seems like we could get to that magic number down to about 10 laps. Maybe around 9-ish if we could go green, get to some green flag stops. but just crazy chaos ever since the green flag dropped here tonight. Devin Ray back on the pit road. But I'll tell you what, those KSR guys, got Kenny Stamper, Dustin Crothers, Devin Ray. He's still on the lead lap. They're still got the numbers. They're still looking to make some noise here as we get in the later stages of the race.
Joe Huerta as well runs for KSR. So I mentioned 5 trucks at the top of the show. That was a disservice to Joe Huerta. So my apologies there. They actually have 6 trucks in the race tonight. 4 right now are on the lead lap. Trevor Osbornoth has gone a lap down, sitting on pit road, fixing the rest of the damage, I believe, aboard the 89. We'll double check here, and I'm not even sure it's fully repaired yet. So he was sitting on pit road, lost a lap, tried to repair as much of it as he could. And now it's back out on the racetrack, a lap down in 18th position. 17 trucks on the lead lap, back to Nash Brambilla, Range, Stamper, Carruthers, Sizemore, Corbett will be the top 5 of the restart. Rest of the top 10, Forbes, Rostisel, Morris, Huerta, and Devin Ray. So 4 KSR trucks are back inside the top 10 after some bad luck, some misfortune for that group. All of a sudden now the attrition has set in, and now they have 4 trucks back inside the top 10 of this race. Looking very good once again. 23 laps to go. 1 pit stop remains, but guys, I don't know about you, but it just does not seem like this is a race where these guys are going to make it to green flag pit stops.
Yeah, I mean, every time I think, a wreck's going to cause them to maybe slow down and kind of hang out, chill out, run single file. It looked like that run we kind of started single file, but JR kind of racing a little aggressive, to get that 1 lap back and hopefully, like you said, get a 2nd lap back. Just kind of an unfortunate, a little push there from Zach Range out of the turn, force that net code up there with Heath Job. So, we'll see right now. I mean, you got plenty of laps left here. We're looking at about 24 to go, 23 to go here as we cross the line. And, I would say get single file. Let's log some laps here, get to that green flag stop, and, make that the money stop and see where that takes you.
All right, here we go. Zach Range, Kenny Stamper on the front row, back to green with 23 laps to go. Let's see if these guys can get into a bit of a green flag rhythm. 4 cautions in, and we are 26 laps into season number 5. Green flag is back in the air, and away we go towards turn number 1 again. Another big jump for Zach Range on the bottom. This one not as big as the last one, but a truck length back to his help, and Dustin Carruthers. Stamper the better help and will surge the outside line as they climb the banking.
Big push there on the bottom from Dustin Carruthers to the back of Zach Range, but you're going to see that outside start to roll here with Steve Sizemore. Give it a push to Kenny Stamper. That's what I love about this series. A lot of names you don't really see up front most of the time are making their name here on Monday night, and what better way to do it whenever you have a big wreck fest. You can save your truck, get up there, and try and get in a money spot, secure your spot in the championship.
Yeah, that 5 truck of Steve Sizemore, one driver we have not talked too much about tonight. He finds himself right now in the top 5. Unfortunately, his one teammate, Mark Math, 2 laps down. His other teammate, Joey Galati, 12 laps down. So he's another one, as well as Zach Range, trying to get it done here tonight without much of a team help. So look for Steve Sizemore to kind of seize this opportunity here as he pushes Kenny Stamper here into turn 1.
It was awfully close in 3 and 4. Dustin Carruthers was trying to get on this team owner's bumper there and get those 2 connected, but was not able to get clear. Steve Sizemore was able to push the 30 back up alongside the race leader, Zach Range. Now he's going to actually push him on past the race leader, Zach Range, on the backstretch as they have another little bit of extra boost of help. That's from Bobby Forbes for Hyper Motorsports. The only remaining Hyper Motorsports truck here at the very front of the field, Danny Barnes, is about 5 rows deep in the field. In the 7, he is 5th on the outside. Kenny Stamper now leads, and it's Sizemore up around the outside with the help of Forbes. Ron Morris as well. He's back to the front. Does he look middle here? That was a big gap there in the trial. Well, Morris stays in line. So too does everybody behind him. And still 2 by 2. Kenny Stamper leads that lap. 21 laps to go.
Even pushes top and bottom right now. Mark Matthew noted he is out. He disconnected. He was involved in that last wreck. Tried to drive through on the inside. I don't know if he caught it on the replay, but absolutely mollywopped Logan York, who always seems to get driven through whenever it comes to wrecks and people ARCA braking. So unfortunate for Logan, but I don't know. It may have straightened his back bumper back up because he got a little bit more speed in that truck.
Tell you what, one guy that's back in this one is the 4 of Brock Westmoreland. I know he had to overcome some early damage to his truck, but with all these cautions, looks like he is all fixed up, and that's a sight for Nathan Rossesel to have him in his rear view. So two PGR teammates now kind of linked up together as Nash Brambilla, unfortunately, not keeping pace with this pack, and JR Miller 12 laps down. It's going to be up to Brock and Nate to get the job done here for Team PGR tonight, as we are 3 wide now as Ron Morris leads the top coming out of turn number 2.
I mean, guys, we wondered if they were going to calm it down. They have given us our answer, a resounding no. 3 by 3, 3 rows deep. Even after all that's happened, these guys just have not learned their lesson. They're going to go 3 wide down the Alabama Gang super stretch. Ron Morris, I believe, is going to get clear to the middle as Sizemore drops bottom. Ron Morris hanging in the top lane, did not take it there on the end of the backstretch. We're going to have to hope that's not their only opportunity to get clear, because that was a huge missed chance there for the 76. He'll have to regroup that run and get right back past. Still 3 wide for the lead. Sizemore bottom side. Forbes in the middle. Ron Morris rim riding up against the safer barrier.
Yeah, I don't think Ron Morris knew he was clear to the middle there. Went over the radio, apologized to that top lane for not dropping down, but he also didn't want to leave out Richard Elliott to dry. He got pushed pretty good on that outside line. These guys still have a pit stop. I don't think they. I think they do understand. Maybe they're fighting for that track position because they know the wrecks have been happening within the first 5-6 laps. So they know if they can get that track position, the wreck occurs, that they'll be good on fuel to the end once they make these pit stops.
And we are 3 by 3 by 3, about 3 or 4 lanes deep right now. Ron Moore is still leading the top. Brock Westmoreland was able to clear Bobby Forbes to the bottom. He's going to lead the middle now. The 07 of Danny Barnes. I'm trying to pick up who that is. They're going to lead here in the middle. No help right now from them, but it's going to be Bobby Forbes here leading the bottom with Steve Sizemore pushing him. Ron Morris looks to be clear again. Will he take it this time? He does.
Looking back here at some of the trailers as Ron Morris does get to lead. Wanted to check on some of those guys. They were starting to lose the pack, and they are still losing a little bit of time. So we'll have to keep an eye on that back around Logan York and see if they can keep pace with the lead pack. They are starting to lose some of that ground they made up just a moment ago. Still 3 wide up front. Almost some contact there, Westmoreland and Sizemore, but everybody gets through it okay. And Richard Elliott tries to go to lead. Bobby Forbes around. Does Bobby Forbes save it? He's still straight. What a save by Bobby Forbes. Holy cow, put that one on the highlight reel early in Season 5.
Big check up there towards the back with Dustin Carruthers and Trevor Osmond. I thought the caution was going to come out. Thought he was going to hook it back up to the field. He does not. It's going to be unfortunate for Trevor. He's the first truck a lap down, just trying to keep his truck clean to repair. I can't believe I'm saying this, to repair a truck that was in the catch fence and absolutely destroyed along with Logan York. To try and get that lap back, but a bunch of people checked up there on that spin. Great save by Bobby Forbes. They're going to start to single file out here, and honestly, get ready for these green flag stops because they could happen in the next couple of laps.
I'll tell you what, I went back into the try over there. Jack Hignite and Zach Range almost came together. Hignite had to go all the way down, nearly cut the nose right out from Steve Sizemore. We almost had a big one in the trial there. Fortunately for those guys, no wreck. Jack Hignite had to go through the grass back up onto the track. He blends back in. No harm, no foul there, as Richard Elliott right now is going to lead this thing with Ron Morris and Brock Westmoreland is rounding out your top 3.
One car on the outside, still Jack Hignite. You just heard Mike talking about Hignite's struggles last time by. We saw it at the very tail end of our frame. He's going to jump to the outside. That group led by Devin Ray is kind of separated, and they are losing ground in a hurry. They have not found any kind of draft off the back of Chris Carter yet, and they continue to lose speed. Over a second back to them. If they lose the draft, they're not likely over, and they are not together yet. They're going to have to hope the pit stops go their way as they come off turn 4. We're into the pit window just about. Does anybody take it here? Yes, they do. Zach Range comes to pit road, but nobody comes with him. It's only the 043 on pit road. A tough break for Zach Range as he pits right at the early part of the window.
Yeah, I don't understand that call. Maybe he's thinking there's going to be a caution and he can cycle track position, but he has no help. If I'm this lead pack here, I keep running it out. Try and drop him off one by one, chop him down. So don't understand the call there. I know if if you aren't running with the team, I usually try and pit with the masses and go with when another team is going to go when I'm running solo. So unfortunate for Zach Range for sure, but you know, I never know. He could get lucky here. Could see people down pit road here, have some slow stops and bridge some gaps.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we do have green flag stops. Where it looks like we're heading that way. Some veterans in here, some new guys. So it should be interesting to see. Devin Ray's getting a big push right now by Joe Horta. They're gonna link up with Kenny Stamper. Here comes Team KSR, Dustin Crothers as well. It's 4 of them in a row here in the middle. They're gonna look to go all the way to the front. When it counts, here comes Team KSR.
Well, that answers my question about why those guys were dropping out the field. They were going to grab their teammate Dustin Carruthers. We're Devin Ray, Joe Huerta, and the KSR train has arrived at the station. Kenny Stamper to the race lead, and they are flying past the field. All 3 of them going to get clear to the bottom. Carruthers the only one that will not. He'll be caught on the top side, but they're going to maybe stay up, try to keep him in the draft, try to get him back forward with 14 laps to go. Carruthers, he just needs a little bit more draft, maybe one more truck to come up and help him, and he might have gotten a spot in line there. Still going to hang up there and try to grab their teammate, and still all 3 of them clear. They got to the front in a hurry.
Yeah, but hanging up there that long, you don't know if Horta's going to drop down. I don't think he's going to. I think once Richard Elliott gets to the back bumper, you see maybe Devin Ray move down. He's not going to it this time. Maybe Kenny Stamper. You want to keep the temps going for Devin Ray. Get some fresh temps cycled up top. That way they can all push clear. But they're still rolling strong there. Those 4 KSR trucks all top rolling strong. And this back part of this bottom line is really broken. That's that he runs to the outside line.
Zach Range right now coming out of turn number 4. Leaders are in between turns number 3 and 4. So Zach Range right now kind of insistent. Brock Westmoreland, Sean Corbett. Here comes Richard Elliott, Ron Morris Jr. They're all in the team guys. They're going to stay out here on the track. I'll probably run it one more time.
I don't mind that call from KSR. That was the call the whole time, and they're sticking to it. 7 on pit road this time. Elliott, Morris, Sizemore, Westmoreland, Corbett, Carter, and Rostasil. Those are the 7 trucks on pit road. This time 6 are still on the speedway, at least of their lead draft cars. Stamper, Huerta, Carruthers, Ray, Hignite, and Bobby Forbes, who are about a second off the back end of this KSR train here, 4 deep. So let's see as they come off turn 4 again with 12 laps to go.
I would if I were there. I try and catch the back Zach Range draft here. Maybe pull a little bit more time. Maybe force the hand. If it's already time to see him come down this time.
So these 4 on pit road, they're going to bring with them Jack Hignite and Bobby Forbes. And so this group will be the final one of the lead draft trucks to pit. The last 2 will be York and Brambilla, but they are damaged and well off the pace, so they will probably come to pit road here in a moment. The leader off of that pit cycle is PGR's Brock Westmoreland in the 4, as I believe all 7 of those trucks that came in. Nope, sorry, they lost Nathan Rostasil, and they're going to lose Chris Carter unless he can hang on to the draft. It's going to be awfully close for him, so I believe 5 trucks out of those 7 are going to keep the lead draft.
Coming off pit road now, KSR looks like they get away good with their 4 trucks. They're tucked up pretty well. Need to be a little bit closer, but they're going to lose Jack Ignite. They're going to lose Bobby Forbes. They're going to lose Joey Galati, who tried to latch on with them there. As you see the 5 trucks rolling on the outside of Bobby Forbes, catching Jack Ignite, rolling by him as they come down the Alabama gang super stretch here. Down the back stretch, going to catch this KSR contingent. Ron Morris giving a huge shove to Brock Westmoreland. They're going to go up to the outside. They're going to pull a KSR trick out of the hat. Call it the KSR train coming up on that outside. Here comes Brock Westmoreland with Ron Morris Jr. and Richard Elliott in tow.
Yep, 5 trucks is going to beat 4. Brock Westmoreland right now to the point. Will he clear down? He will. Barely almost gets into his Ron Morris. Oh. Richard Elliott into the wall.
Oh, man, Richard Elliott, that's a tough break for the 0-2. He's probably going to lose the draft. And, oh, man, almost comes across the nose of Jack Hignite, Bobby Forbes, and Chris Carter. That was almost another tough break, so we're down to 8 now in the lead pack as the 0-2 gets into the wall. And I'll tell you who exactly that favors. It favors the 4 KSR trucks, who are now 4 of our final 8 in this group. And they're going to train right around Brock Westmoreland. KSR back to the lead. They're going to take all 4 trucks and bring Sean Corbett with them. Big run to the outside. Stamper, Ray, Huerta, Carruthers, 1, 2, 3, and 4 at Talladega in 3 and 4.
You know, Ron Morris Jr. was hot there. That's the reason why he went to that outside.
Kenny Stamper gets turned!
Kenny Stamper!
Off the bumper of one of his trucks. Can he get it back? Woe down. He's trying to get it on pit road. Going to miss pit road. Now going to slide it. Oh, man. Bad going to worse for Kenny Stamper. A miscue by his team behind him. And that KSR advantage, though it still does exist, is much less than it was. That also allowed Chris Carter, Bobby Forbes, and Ron Morris and Jack Hignite to all pick up the field at the tail end of this lead draft. So the lead draft is now 10 deep. It is Ray, Huerta, Carruthers, Corbett, Westmoreland, Sizemore, Hignite, Forbes, Morris, and Carter that will race for the win with 9 laps to go. This still favors KSR, but Bobby Forbes is about to have some help because here comes Danny Barnes. He's about to get lapped by the field, and he will be able to join this lead draft should he be able to catch on to the back end of this line. He'll be able to catch this lead draft and go help his teammate Bobby Forbes potentially even the odds a little bit here at the front. So let's reset, figure out teams for you in this last run. 2 McCullough Motorsports trucks with Chris Carter, Ron Morris, we believe to be working together tonight. We have the 3 KSR trucks. We have Steve Sizemore. I'm not sure exactly who Steve is running with tonight. I believe he is not running with anybody in this lead group. Perhaps Hignite, but I can't really tell. It's not exactly showing me, but really not a lot of teammates besides KSR and a couple of hyper trucks.
I just want to give a shout out to Josh McCullough. It's his birthday today. 25th birthday for him, so insurance got a little bit cheaper for him. So wish him a happy birthday for McCullough Motorsports. One of our champions in the Little Guy Series, Josh McCullough.
Yeah, back up to that wreck with Devin Ray and Kenny Stamper. Just a little friendly fire there. Offset push just to the left is going to turn Stamper into the wall. He is on pit road getting repairs. Very unfortunate. They still got 3 trucks up here leading. It's Devin Ray in the 2, followed by Joe Herta in the 1, and Dustin Carruthers in the 10. Still on point, but that's going to definitely shake some things up a little bit. Sean Corbett, Brock Westmore, and Steve Sizemore, all these guys going to be very, very hungry. And right now, I'd be doing what they're doing, sitting right behind them and just letting these laps tick down and make the move when it counts.
Hyper Driver's going to go to the outside. Sorry to cut you off, but Danny Barnes going to give a huge shove, even though he's a couple laps down. There comes Bobby Forbes. Steve Sizemore going to go up. Corbett going to go up really early. I don't know that's really going to... That's going to stall that outside line. As you can see, Hyper jump 3 wide. They're going to catch a lap car here. It's going to be 4 wide here once they get to him.
Brambill up against the wall. Got to make it wide. They do. Everybody gets through it. But here's the problem. 2 trucks middle, 2 trucks top, and a ton more on the bottom. That's not what you want to see if you're the 2 hyper trucks. It's not what you want to see if you're Sizemore or Corbett. They're still rolling in the middle. Now they're going to get some help. Ron Morris jumps to the outside, and now KSR just has to kind of take a breath, reset, and push. Westmoreland now off the bottom. He goes to the middle. We are racing now at Talladega. It's time to go. Help coming, a cavalry coming on the bottom. It's Jack Hignite, and one of the truck back there, Chris Carter, trying to come to the aid of KSR on the bottom, but it's Sean Corbett for BAR that's going to take the lead off 4.
Corbett, another one that was one of my teammates running in the team draft event, won it with him as well. He really, really impressed me whenever I ran with him. He's a great team player, a great guy. Offset push from Steve Sizemore. It looks like he's going to turn him in the corner. Oh, my goodness. He was offset and on his bumper. He got away with murder there for sure. As you see, the bottom line going to get cleared. Devin Ray, but they're committed. Joe Huerta is committed to managing those temps. Carruthers committed to keeping that bottom rolling. They think those 3 trucks are going to be just enough to get one of them the win, because you're going to see some 3 wide action there towards the top side. As you see, Brock Westmoreland, big shot to Steve Sizemore, who goes up the track into that 3rd line. He's about to... goes over the comp, says he's about to blow up here. They're going to go 3 wide for a little bit of Sizemore. We're going to get some temps.
Oh. Yeah, Brock Westmoreland, he's going to go to the outside, and he's going to be left out. There goes Hyper Motorsports. They're going to get to the bumper of Sean Corbett here in the Tri-Oval. Right now, a little bit dysfunction there, and nothing right now doing here for the KSR guys. They're going to have to get in a line here in the middle, stay in a line if they want any chance. All this lane swapping right now is not going to do it. But here comes Sean Corbett back up with a great push by Bobby Forbes. Danny Barnes trying to get into the back end here of Bobby Forbes, try to clear Sean Corbett here, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that down the backstretch.
Well, the benefit for the guys on the bottom is that they're all three teammates. That's the thing I was going to say earlier is It's going to be so tough for these guys, other than Danny Barnes and Bobby Forbes, obviously able to coordinate their moves. But they're not talking to Sean Corbett. They're not talking to Jack Hignite or Chris Carter or Ron Morris or Brock Westmoreland. These three KSR guys, they're all in the same communication channel right now. They're all talking to each other actively, saying, all right, here's what we're going to do if they do this. Here's what we're going to do if they go make this move. We're going to have to try to figure that out. They're plotting right now and planning in case something happens. And I'll tell you what, it may not matter. Look at the push on the top side. The Hyper boys have come to play tonight. Bobby Forbes and Sean Corbett are hooked up, and I'll tell you what's going on. It's Joe Huerta has got to be running hot on the bottom, and they never cycle temps at the front with Devin Ray, and it's going to hurt him here on the back straightaway with 3 laps to go.
Now you get a little Corbett pushing the outside wall. Oh, big wreck. Hyper Motorsports has got to be a caution here.
You'd imagine it would be a caution. No caution yet. Still green, still green, still green, still no caution, and the caution's not going to come out. Now it does. Okay, it was really late. I thought we were going to stay green for a moment. It does go caution, and it's for what happened all the way back here on the back straightaway. And it started with Sean Corbett getting a bad push here from Bobby Forbes. Let's try to get a better look at this. You're going to see the push right here. Well, give it a little bit of angle of it. There we go. There you see the push. Hooks him to the right. Corbett goes left to right. And then Danny Barnes gets in the back of his teammate Forbes, turns him down into Devin Ray. Further back, Chris Carter's around. He gets Jack Hignite. And it's on from there. It's another wreck that collects a lot of trucks. Another time tonight we're going to have some attrition. Sizemore and Carter come together. Devin Ray back involved into Sizemore there. Hignite pushes Barnes down the banking. I believe Ray going to get hit one more time. Nope, not quite. Another one with 5, 6, 7 trucks involved at the front of the field. And man, I don't know what's gotten into these guys tonight, but that push on the back straightaway sparks another multi-truck incident, our 4th multi-truck incident of the night. It involves a bad push from Forbes, and then some friendly fire from Hyper Motorsports up at the front of the field.
And this was going to bring a ton of players back into it. Logan York's going to have a fully repaired off truck. I don't know if it's going to be enough for him. Nathan Rustelli is going to be up in this fight. Richard Elliott, who got turned up in the outside wall. We'll see what kind of damage he has and what he can fix. And Zach Range, probably the luckiest of them all. I mean, he was about a corner away from going a lap down, and now he's back on the lead lap. So you're going to have 12 trucks here. Count them, 14 trucks, on the lead lap here.
Yeah, you kind of took exactly what I was going to say right there. Richard Elliott down pit road. Devin Ray down pit road. Jack Hignite. Contingent of cars. Steve Sizemore on pit road. Chris Carter. It's going to bring in all those guys that were kind of just hanging out, lost the draft. And I'll tell you what, those guys are going to almost cycle all the way up to the front here and, kind of be in the middle of all these trucks, in it. Well, who's to say? I don't know if all these guys are too damaged. It might be, Ron Morris, Dustin Crothers, Joe Horta, Brock Westmoreland. I mean, they might be the only trucks that are going to be really clean here as we're going to probably head to a green-white checker.
Oh, it'll definitely be a green-white checker. We were inside of 3 to go, coming to 2, so this will definitely send us into overtime. And, man, I mean, there's not going to be a ton of trucks left that don't have any damage here. Well, there's already not a lot of trucks without damage, but now there really aren't a lot of trucks without damage, especially at the front. The guy who's in the catbird seat right now is Ron Morris. I mean, he watched all that happen in front of him, drove on through, and inherited the lead. So Ron Morris, lucky out of that as well. Dustin Crothers, Joe Huerta, 2 teammates, still 2nd and 3rd. Westmoreland will be 4th. Zach Range, after getting shuffled out on the pit strategy, pitting with 16 to go very early, he's going to be 5th. Nathan Rostisel for PGR, he'll be 6th. A pair of PGR teammates have suddenly found each other here late in the going. They'll be 4th and 6th. Devin Ray, see what kind of damage he's got. He's 7th. And the rest of the field that has any chance in this race is currently on pit road fixing damage. So we'll have to wait and see where they all cycle out. The attrition continues, and now overtime is upon us as 3 attempts await. 5th caution of the night. Again, 3 green-white checkered attempts should we need them. And unlike Thursday night when we have a little bit of a unique green-white checkered rule, I don't believe that is the case here. I believe it's just going to be, if there's a caution warranted, there's going to be a caution thrown. So we're going to find out. Hopefully these guys get it finished. I know they'd like to finish it right here. And certainly the guys back at the virtual shops would like to finish it right here as well. A lot of damage done to a lot of trucks here tonight. I mean, this has been a bit of a slugfest, if you will.
Definitely a slugfest. You're gonna see Zach Range up to 5th place, Nathan Rostelli up to 6th place after those wrecks, and taking out half of those leaders that were in that lead pack of the trucks. You're gonna see. Let's see. You're gonna have Ron Morris Jr. starting on the inside. Dustin Carruthers in 2nd there on the outside. Jer Huerta there in the bottom. Great move by Morris to choose the bottom here. Keep the KSR teammates split up. Brock Westmoreland going to give a good push to Dustin Carruthers here on the outside. And you got Zach Range, Nathan Rostelli in row 3, and in row 4, Richard Elliott trying to come back. He's running a really, really good race. Avoided a lot of the wrecks, but didn't avoid the one that didn't cause a caution. But saving grace for him. Now he's back up in 8th place.
Yeah, going to be very interesting to see here. Luckily for Brock Westmoreland, he gets his teammate back, the 3 of Nathan Rostasil. So if he can clear maybe Dustin Carruthers down in front of Ron Morris, those two can lead the top with Richard Elliott behind them. So Brock Westmoreland coming back, like I said, from an earlier incident, probably one of the first couple laps of this race. He's all the way back up front on row number 2. Tell you what, he's another guy that's very hungry to get a victory here tonight. And don't count out my pick to win. It's Zach Range. He will take these guys. He will split middle, and I'll tell you what, he has no fear. So I'm looking for him to make one of the biggest moves of this race here on the green-white checker.
Ron Morris is going to have to block for all he's worth. Hopefully he watched Mike Davenport's film from the championship race in Season 4. If you want to figure out how to win a race by blocking up front by playing some defense, go watch Mike Davenport win that championship. Block 3 lanes at once off turn 4 and route to a victory in that race. All right, overtime attempt number 1. If the leaders reach the white flag, the race will be official, and we will settle it right here. If not, we'll re-rack, race stack 2 more attempts should we need them. Of course, tonight's attrition race will go into overtime. Green-white checkered attempt number 1 in the hands of Ron Morris Jr. Can he go back to victory lane in this series? Can Dustin Carruthers extend his lead for the winningest driver in the history of this series? Green flag is back in the air, and off they go towards 1. Did Ron Morris get too much of a jump right there? I think he might have. He's way out front as they head for 1 and 2.
Yeah, he got a really big jump. Carruthers wanted to clear down at the bottom. He doesn't get it. Huerta's going to get to the back bumper of Ron Morris Jr. The bottom's going to form up. Oh, Zach Range loose. They're now. Oh, that's the best thing to happen for Ron Morris. He's going to have KSR side by side. He's going to go up and block. Big block on the outside. Ron Morris Jr. That's going to clear Dustin to the bottom, though. He's going to take it almost. Oh, he doesn't take it immediately. 3 wide on the outside. Here comes Rostelli. Dustin Carruthers gets blocked down to the bottom by Ron Morris Jr. going into 3.
Nathan Rostasil, he's going to lead the middle. It's a new guy in a new place. Dustin Carruthers is going to come up. He's going to lead the middle. Here comes Ron Morris Jr. here to block. Brock Westmoreland on the bottom, getting pushed by Joe Huerta. Ron Morris back. Brock has nowhere to go. It's going to push him back up the hill. Here goes Dustin Carruthers up to the 3rd lane.
Oh, I don't see this working out. Off 4, we are going to settle it right here. White flag in race 1 of the Little Guys series, and off towards 1. PGR's Brock Westmoreland shoots forward to the lead.
Ron Morris Jr. threw, 3 or 4 massive blocks on Dustin Carruthers. Hignite tried to go to the outside. This is going to be a 6-truck battle. Hit that 3rd lane, can't get rolling. They're not going to. Dustin Carruthers going to have to tuck back in line. Oh, no big push here on the outside right now. Now they get it. Here's Richard Elliott. 1 around in the back. That's Devin Ray. He's getting squirreled up. It's a 7-truck race come to the start-finish line here.
Here we go. Off turn number 4, going to be a drag race all the way home. Ron Morris threw a lot of blocks. Can he throw one more? Does he need to? Now it's going to be Westmoreland that needs to block. Do they wreck out back? The 4 leads the field back to the travel. He's under the yellow line. Range trying to split through the middle. Will it matter? Will the top get any run? It will not. PGR wins back-to-back races. Brock Westmoreland wins race 1 of the Little Guys series.
Gonna wreck past the start-finish line, but what a great race by Brock Westmoreland there. Got involved early, like Michael talked about, and he just saved his truck to the end, made the right move, stayed tucked to the bottom. Didn't think about the blocking happening up front, just wanted to stay tucked on that bottom side, and it really worked out for him.
It sure did, and it's awesome for me to see yet again another PGR driver in victory lane. If only their way to be able to close and finish races rubbed off on their team owner, that'd be awesome. But awesome, congratulations here tonight to that Ford Brock Westmoreland, man, holding these guys off with really no teammate health. Great drive for him, very deserving of the win.
We'll watch back the finish here in slow motion. Pretty uneventful, all things considered, because I mean, it really lends itself to that push on the bottom side of the racetrack. The bottom side with Westmoreland, Huerta, Range, and Carruthers, they got linked up, and they were able to get all the way home. And, man, no doubt about it here for Westmoreland. No sweat at all. And that's about the easiest it'll get off turn 4 at Talladega. And he manages to go back to victory lane in this series. What a race to start this one, an attrition race nonetheless. And Brock Westmoreland is in victory lane. We'll get your finishing results, and then we will go into your post-race show and some post-race interviews. Brock Westmoreland wins race 1 of the Little Guys series here in Season 5. Ron Morris finishes second. Joe Huerta finishes in third. Great run for the one machine for KSR, carrying the KSR banner tonight. Joe Huerta in third. Zach Range fourth. Richard Elliott fifth. Dustin Carruthers finishes 6th, Jack Ignite 7th, Nathan Rostisel 8th, Logan York 9th, and Steve Sizemore rounds out the top 10.
In 11th, you get Nash from Billa, Christopher Carter in 12th, Devin Ray 13th, Trevor Osmernoth in 14th, Danny Barnes in 15th, Sean Corbett in 16th. Great run for him. It just unfortunate there with the caution before the finish there. Bobby Forbes 17th, Tucker McClendon 18th, Kenny Stamper in 19th, Joey Galati in 20th, Jared Haynes 21st, Mark Math in 22nd, Heath Job early exit on the night in 23rd, J.R. Miller in 24th, Ryan Baste blowing up before he even take the green flag. Unfortunate for him with some computer issues, and that'll round out your 25 truck field.
We're going to go grab your top 3 for interviews. Stay with us here on PGR eSports. We'll be right back for the post-race show from Talladega.
Into turn 1.
Back live from Talladega Super Speedway. We'll go to our post-race show now and begin our post-race interviews. We'll begin with the man who finished in third and carried the PGR banner. That is Joe Huerta. Matthew Baker stands by.
Hey, Joe, it's Matt, Dawson, and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, you ran a solid race. I'd say KSR got bitten by the bad luck bug almost all night, but every truck in the field got bitten by the bad bug. I would say not many trucks finished clean, but you seemed one of the cleanest trucks, and you gave the cleanest push there on the bottom to Brock Westmoreland. Talk me through the whole night and how you got KSR in a podium spot.
Yeah, that was tough. That was just a battle of attrition. Survival. If you got a clean truck near the end, you're gonna get a top 5. So that's what I was doing with Devin most of the race. Unfortunately, he got turned on that. I think that last caution there, so it took him out of it. But I lined up third. I was like, my best option is to help Brock and push through him. So glad I was able to get a podium.
Well, it was a great push nonetheless. Kept the truck clean like you talked about with the battle of attrition. Good to see momentum for you in this Little Guy series, and excited to see where it takes you this season, hopefully in victory lane, and we can talk to you a couple positions higher. But before we let you go, anyone want to thank or shout out?
Obviously, all the KSR boys. I wish we could have had a better run there to the end. Maybe get that KSR train rolling one more time, but I think we'll wait till next week for that one.
Thanks for talking to us, Joe. This is your third place finisher.
Thank you.
Joe Huerta, the third place finisher tonight. I'll bring you to the man who finished on the runner-up spot, a man who's used to finishing up here and used to talking to us after these races. That is Ron Morris Jr., McCullough Motorsports. Ron, it's the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, yeah, I got a copy. How y'all doing tonight?
Well, we're doing well. I mean, in an attrition race, we just talked to Joe about it, a race that was, you got to save the truck, and you were one of the ones that was able to do so. You ended up finishing second. Take us through what was a chaotic night here at Talladega.
Yeah, my wheel disconnected about halfway through the race, and I had to tow, and I went a lap down. And it might have been a blessing because I was away from all that wrecking when it started happening. So, yeah, it's a matter of keeping the truck clean, a little bit of pit strategy. had a real good pit stop. We came out pretty good there. I was a little worried on that restart. I got away from him a little bit, and I had to kind of drive in my mirror a little bit, going up, blocking Dustin a couple times, and then I almost messed me and Brock both up. I almost laid a late block and wrecked us both, but I pulled back up. But congrats to Brock for the win. He ran a good race all night too. But yeah, it's a matter of just having a fairly clean truck in the end. It wasn't perfect. I missed a lot of wrecks, got lucky, but I had one where after the wreck, somebody came down in front of me, and I got a little bit of damage there. But other than that, truck was pretty good. So yeah, matter of just being a little lucky tonight, I guess.
Well, sometimes better to be lucky than to be good. That's what they say anyway. And tonight, you had the best of both worlds. You finished second, and you're going to be the man leading the points heading into week number 2. Westmoreland wins his way in, so you are the points leader heading into the second week of this series. What does that mean to the season? It's only 5 races long, so how much does it mean to be the leader in points after 1 week? Get that good a start to your season.
Yeah, the wins are hard to come by, so I need to try to stay consistent so we can get into the championship race. So yeah, I was kind of running alone tonight too. Didn't have any of my teammates with me, but that should be different next week. But yeah, try to get some consistent finishes at least now. I know I can maybe be a little more careful, get some top 5s, and kind of lock my way in that way. So a win will be nice, of course, but I'll take a second. Good with that.
Well, absolutely not too shabby tonight at all. Before we let you go and celebrate this second place finish, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Oh man, appreciate you guys for broadcasting PGR. And then tomorrow night, Tuesday Night Thunder, Ron Morris Racing. Check us out. Some of the best racing around. This tonight is too, but check us out. Xfinity Cars. We at Atlanta tomorrow, so it ought to be fun. A little different. So check us out.
Well, that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that race. We will see you tomorrow. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, have a good one. Thank you.
Ron Morris Jr., your second place finisher tonight. And that brings us to our final post-race interview of tonight's race. And that is going to be the man who finished in the best spot on the speedway, the man in victory lane tonight. And his team owner stands by. Michael Triscaro stands by with Brock Westmoreland.
Hey, Brock, you got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
All right, man. Well, we just got done talking about it. Let everyone know, how much damage did you get there in the beginning of the race?
I was in that first wreck, had, I think it was 5 minutes, 40-something seconds worth.
Well, 5 minutes, 40 seconds worth, and you were able to repair that entire truck. Cautions bred cautions tonight, and, for you, that obviously ended up helping you tremendously. What did it take for you once you did get your truck fixed to kind of work yourself back up to the front, essentially almost with no teammate help tonight? It seemed like you guys kind of had a couple guys, I believe it was J.R. Miller, down 36 laps. Nash Brambilla had plenty of damage. Nate kept avoiding some wrecks, and he was kind of, right around the mid-pack there. But, it seemed like you just, put the pedal to the floor and were able to get to the front by yourself.
Yeah, I didn't have anybody to work with, and before that last green white checkered, I was kind of playing around, seeing who I could see if anybody would go with me or not. I jumped 3 wide on Corbett to see if anybody would follow me, and they let me out to dry, so I kind of knew at that point I wasn't going to have anybody to work with, and I just got behind. I think I got behind Ron at one point or something, followed, and then on that green white, I pushed Dustin and Ron clear, and I was able to clear down in front of Joe and get to the inside, and when that happened, I knew I was in good shape.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think it was like the second to last lap. It looked like a very close call. Ron Morris was kind of in between lanes, went up to block Dustin Crothers, kind of came down to block you. Good for you. It seemed like he knew he wasn't clear. It looked like he almost went all the way below the yellow, had to check up a little bit, but awesome, racecraft there to kind of keep that one together. Ron ended up going middle, and Joe Hort a great push to you that whole last lap. You got to obviously thank him tonight, I'm thinking there.
Oh yeah, perfect push in there. Ron, he kind of hesitated on the block, and I knew if I let up to let him in, he'd come down and I'd lose it. So instead of letting up, I just had to get down under the yellow there, and I never let off, and he saw he wasn't clear, and I gave him enough room to get back in line, and that's really what saved it right there. If I'd have turned him or if I'd have let up, either way, I wouldn't have got anywhere.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, man. It's just like in real life. You win that Daytona 500, guess what? You're locked into the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. So no different here, man. You're going right to the championship race. How does that feel, and what are you going to do here the rest of the season?
It definitely feels good. Definitely, little less stressful now, and now I can just try to go help the rest of the team get in and try to win some more money.
Well, absolutely, man. And I'll tell you what, you probably will, man. Driving great right now in that 4-train truck. I love to see it out there every time. And before we let you go tonight, Brock, anyone you want to thank?
I want to thank Joe again there for the great push, and Ron for racing, all the teammates and everybody. It's a real good race.
Well, Brock, we appreciate watching you race tonight. Great job getting there to victory lane here at Talladega, man. And have a good night. Go celebrate with the boys.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Brock Westmoreland, the winner tonight from Talladega Super Speedway, and he's the first one to lock into the playoffs in a race that ended up being a lot of attrition. And, man, guys, in a great race, at the end, but a long way to get there in our first race of the season, a race that saw, you have to save the truck more so than just go win it on pit strategy. A wild one here in week 1 at Talladega.
Yeah, definitely a wild one. A lot of fun to watch. Another day of seeing something that we haven't seen before. Just really, really hard racing up front and causing calamity left and right, and someone with 5 minutes of damage coming out and winning the race is pretty impressive.
It very much so is, and hopefully we can get back to some green flag racing next week. Crazy night here at Talladega. Having a little fun right now with the KSR guys, with some Stephen A. Smith memes. Those guys had a lot to say before the race, but yet again, it's PGR on top here in the Little Guys series. Having some playful fun with those guys here tonight. But overall, great finish, and that's all you can ask for here when you're broadcasting these things. So congrats again to Brock Westmoreland. Ron Morris, another great run for him. And Joe Horta, kind of newer to the scene here on the money side, and doing a great job up there.
Well, I mean, a lot of fun to watch. Certainly a calamity-filled race, like Baker said. And you thought tonight was calamity? You're going to want to come out tomorrow night. I'll have the call for you here on PGR eSports, because Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder, you heard Ron say it, goes to the Peach State of Georgia and Atlanta. My favorite car track combo comes back tomorrow. The first time around was a great race, a lot of fun, and some strategy involved as well. Tomorrow night sure to be good as well, with only 3 races remaining after tomorrow until the Tuesday Night Thunder playoffs. It's also another double feature for PGR this week, Thursday night and Friday night. We'll get you some info on those before we get out of here tonight. Thursday night, the Xfinity at Atlanta again, so a bit of a double feature at Atlanta this week, Tuesday and Thursday. You won't want to miss that one either. The Nurses Make the Difference 90 at Atlanta in the Xfinity race cars, and then Friday back in the Craftsman trucks at the Daytona International Speedway. Myself or Austin will have the call for you there. We'll be back next week for this series, same time, 11:15 for race number 2 from Talladega, the Little Guys series. For my broadcast partners, Matthew Baker and Michael Triscaro, my name is Dawson Wise. You've been watching PGR eSports. And until next time, good night.